صل على محمد وعلي محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلي محمد. Salamun alaikum, Ya Ali Madad. Tonight, as we know, is the 3rd of Ramazan, and it is also our 3rd lecture. We have started a new series of lecture which is very knowledgeable, beneficial for all youth and all azadar all around the world. Tonight, we will discuss about a very, very famous supplication. The supplication of Iftitah, Dua Iftitah. We will discuss where it really originated from and what are the aspects associated with it. So Dua Iftitah is a supplication that is narrated by Muhammad bin Usman. Muhammad bin Usman was one of the 4 deputies of Imam Zamana. As we know, we've talked about the 4 deputies of Imam Zamana many times on my lectures. But now I will still give a quick recap so it's easier to understand. The 4 deputies of Imam Zamana were special deputies, were also known as Nawab Arba. Now their responsibility was to keep the communication between the Shi'as and the Imam who was in minor occultation going. So that was their responsibilities. So we have our first deputy, and right before our first deputy's martyrdom was approaching, the Imam Zamana informed him that you will pass away. Go inform this person that he will be the 2nd deputy. So the 2nd deputy, then the 3rd deputy, and then the 4th deputy. So now these 4 deputies, one after another, their job was to keep the communication between Imam Zamana and the Shi'as ongoing. And this method of communication, the minor occultation, it lasted 69 years. 69 years later, the minor occultation ended and the major occultation started. And today, to this day, we are in major occultation, which will end when the Zahur of Imam Zaman, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, when his Zahur arrives, when Allah wills it. So now back to Dua Iftitah. So this supplication is a supplication that all Shias try to recite every night of Ramazan after iftar. So this supplication, it talks about lofty themes about Allah, it talks about Allah, and a few scholars have actually written commentaries on it. So if anyone's interested, you can go read it, or else you can simply read the translation in English or any other language available online. The last paragraph of this supplication points out aspects such as expressing our affections for the Islamic government in the light of Imam Mehdi when Imam Mehdi reappears. So in the light when Imam Mehdi reappears. Allama Majlisi, he has actually stated in his book from an authentic chain. So he says, from an authentic chain, it has been narrated by Imam Mehdi that he has written to his Shi'as, telling them to recite this supplication every night during the month of Ramazan. Because the angels, they will listen to you reciting Dua Iftitah. And when you will recite Dua Iftitah, the angels will go to Allah and say, Oh Allah, forgive the person for all his sins. Forgive the person who is reciting Dua Iftitah for all his sins. So Dua Iftitah, the supplication of Iftitah. So what exactly is it? So let me tell you more clearly. So it begins with the praise of the Almighty Allah. It then touches upon choosing the right path and the approval of God. His mercy, the mercy of Allah, the anger of Allah, the necessity of hope and fear, the blessing of worship, Allah's grace, Allah's mercy upon the servant's sinning, and His continued grace. A reminder of Allah's justice and Allah's mercy. The lasting of blessing being in Allah's hand and the necessity of pondering over His blessing. So this is basically what Dua Iftitah talks about. Now, of course, for more details, you can go on the internet, search up Dua Iftitah translation, the supplication of Iftitah translation. You can get it in your language, if it's French, English, Urdu, Farsi, Arabic, whatever language. You can read it and it's going to help you understand it more. Now, of course, Dua Iftitah is said to be recited every night during the month of Ramazan, but at least, I understand it may be hard for some, but to try to at least recite it once during the month of Ramazan, or to try to recite it as much time as you get during Ramazan if we are incapable of reciting it every night. There are many benefits of reciting supplication of Iftitah, such as our du'as being answered by Allah. Also, people's marifat will increase regarding Allah, and so will their love for Imam Mahdi increase as we recite Dua Iftitah. So as we can see, Dua Iftitah will help us increase our marifat towards Allah and our love towards Imam Mahdi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. We have concluded tonight's lecture about the supplication of Iftitah. Inshallah, these series of lectures will go on until the 30th of Ramazan. So we request all Azadar, please join in big number to increase their marifat, to increase their love for Imam Mahdi, their marifat towards Allah, and to gain knowledge. Because these topics are very knowledgeable, credible, beneficial for all Azadar, all youth, all around the world. Thank you very much. Khuda Hafiz. Iltimas dua.